Yep, I'm talking.
You're not pumped?
Get pumped.
Get pumped.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Geek Envy Podcast, episode 10. This is the only podcast where three guys sit around and talk about video games.
Live at E3?
That's probably not true.
We can make the claim we're at E3 true.
Yeah.
We weren't invited.
Nope.
We didn't have enough money to go.
Probably, yeah, even if we were invited, we'd have been like, oh, thanks, but
that sounds expensive.
yeah, we can't get there. This is a special episode because we made it to episode 10. I think every other episode before that's been special, but we've had some really good episodes now. Last episode we had PS Vita specialist Blue Maxima on as a guest, and then episode 7, of course, we had Erica from Big Cheshire Grin. We're now a dime old, guys. We've been doing this for a long time now.
Months.
Yeah, a couple months.
Yep. Years, almost. It's also a special episode because I'm sure most listeners are aware. E3 is all this week, and the big game companies have all had their big feature presentations. So everyone's had the time to get surprised or disappointed. And so we're just going to spend this episode pretty much just talking about all of that. And I'm here with the normal crew. Back on the show is my favorite New Yorker, Eric.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's going.
I'm guessing you watched the sports ball stuff?
Sports ball stuff, yes. I am a fan of the ball and the basket.
Yeah, it was, I have to say, for those that don't know, which was probably just Matt, really, the NBA Finals concluded this week with the Golden State Warriors taking down the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Sir.
What state is the Golden State?
That is Washington, right?
That's California.
All right, edit that out.
All right. Eric's the one who didn't know. Keep that in. That has to stay in. I don't even know what we're talking
about. Yes, Golden State, California, somewhere over there. All I know is I'm bandwagoning for Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, so yes, shows they know nothing about the team.
I still don't know.
What do you expect? What do you expect from a New Yorker? He's in his own little world over there. It doesn't
New York
really
is its
matter.
own world, exactly.
Yeah,
we have how many sports teams? We have like 7. I think we have 2 basketball, 2 football, 2 soccer teams.
How many states are there in the United States, Eric?
51 if you count Puerto Rico.
Okay, yeah, coming soon, Puerto Rico. Welcome back. It was a pretty good finals, I guess. They're just gonna be exchanging that trophy back and forth, probably for.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is that the NBA is pretty much seen as Golden State versus Cavaliers. The last 3 years, and then I think they're projecting even like the next 3 years. It's just going to be the constant back and forth.
Yep. Well, at least it's fun to see teams try to take them down and then fail miserably. I don't think anyone came close. But enough sports stuff. Also back again from the hipstery tech area of North Carolina. We've got our bargain bin expert, Matt. What's going on?
Hello. I came home to a surprise today when I was getting ready for my podcast, though. So my shelf of all my whole PS3 collection and PS2 collection, including limited editions and everything, had fallen down and was spilled completely over my room. However,
let me guess.
Go ahead.
I was going to say you put that You put the shelf up yourself?
Well, I had it bolted to the wall so it wouldn't fall on my daughter, but I was going to move it, so I unbolted it and then forgot about it. My daughter's not here today, by the way. She's at the beach with her grandparents, so I'm not a bad parent. But it fell on top of one game and kind of dented it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't my game; it was Joey's. So
no,
it was Wonder Book. I still have your Wonder Book, by the way, and an iToy. And is that what they call it?
Oh, that's where that went.
Yeah, I didn't know I had it either until it fell off a shelf. So now
what
we
was
know
that?
where
The PS3 version of Kinect?
it's like some
Yeah.
move.
And then it's like a book that
like
gives you a interactive experience.
It's like Harry Potter. To be honest, it took it pretty well. It's not even like really beat up, so you're good.
So there is a reason why people bolt those things to the wall.
Well,
Yeah.
he said he had an excuse. He was going to move it. He just forgot.
No, I'm just wondering
I'm
because
moving it downstairs. Yeah.
I don't bolt any of my stuff.
Well, this is like one of those, those skinny IKEA ones for like DVDs. They're like super skinny. It was one of those. Those ones get a little wobbly, especially if it's on carpet. So
That's true.
So that's my PSA for today. Bolt your IKEA shelves to the wall.
I'll look into that. Of course, I'm your host, Joey. In terms of my life, the only cool thing, but also kind of annoying thing that happened was that since I work very close to the NASA facility in Houston, we had the vice president down to observe NASA picking out like new astronauts. I was not aware of this, and so I went out like at lunchtime and tried to get lunch, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of cops out here, like
picking out new astronauts. Is it like it's like a draft? It's like everyone there, they're like hoping to get picked.
I guess
or do they have like a
picking.
bunch of guys
It's
like in a yard, like doing a bunch of like aerobics, and they're just like, I want that guy, and they point at him.
So
Wait, what are the guys called? That like scout? Yeah, it's scouts. So they got guys sitting with binoculars, looking at the rocket field while these guys are in spacesuits.
So I'll rephrase and say they already chose the astronauts. This was just the reveal of the astronauts.
Oh, so the vice president just was there to like shake their hands and be like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Trump wasn't here, but I am." How do you do?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. But the important part was this happened all during lunchtime. I didn't know. I thought it was just going to be like a drug bust or something. So I was like, oh, I'm just not going to go to like, that place for lunch. And I went and got lunch, and I ended up like stuck in traffic for like 30 minutes due to all the hubbub. It was also weird to see like protesters that were just like saying science is good, instead of like saying something's bad.
So what were they like, lobbying for science, or were they against something?
Yeah, they were like pro-science protesters.
That's
what were they protesting? People against science?
No, they were just well, I guess so. The signs were just like, science is great, which is...
Well, I feel like the vice president meeting new astronauts is pro-science, so...
Yeah.
Maybe they were just there to be happy.
It was a pretty nice day, so...
Oh, that's good.
Alright, let's get... We're going to have like a really long E3 discussion, so let's just move straight into what we've been playing and cover this kind of quickly. I've been sticking with Persona 5. I'm really trying to beat this game at some point in my lifetime. Probably 80 hours in now in November. So hopefully there's only like 5 months left of this game. And the game's still good, just really long, unnecessarily long. And then I've got Dark Rose Valkyrie in. And so I've been playing that. That's another Idea Factory game. And it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I saw your Instagram shots. I mean, didn't look the best. It didn't look bad, but
you said
it's going to be really bad.
Have you played it yet? You said it's going to be.
Yeah, I've played like an hour probably, and that's about enough time to get like a whiff of the bad dialogue that exists through it, and
Idea Factory is not really known for like great dialogue.
So how does it stack up to Omega Quintet?
It's on the level of Omega Quintet. It's got like it doesn't have an all female cast except for the main character. It has some males in the cast, so that's good, I guess. I don't know. Better than just having like the MC in this harem situation, you know. But the dialogue's pretty bad. The world map that you kind of run around in is very low quality. Looks like trash, really. And the only really good thing about it is I do like Idea Factories, like leveling systems and their stat systems and how you can put like points into things. That's always pretty fun. But
then it sounds a lot like Omega Quintet then. Because that game was like $5 on PSN at a time when I had no JRPGs to play and kind of wanted one. Picked it up, and that part of it kind of got me through some hours. And then I never played it again.
Yeah, it's fun to put numbers into things, but it doesn't... I was already bored like after like 5 battles in the field, so that's Dark Rose Valkyrie.
All right.
What about you, Eric?
So I've been playing Nier Automata, and I'm not going to go into depth because we've been saving the conversation around this for about 4 weeks now. But yes, I'm going to skip over that for now because I think that's actually going to be our next talking point. It's a great game. I'll give it that much. I'm not going to say much more than I went in with little expectation. I know we kind of just talked around what Nier was before. But it sucked me in.
How many hours in are you?
I think I'm about 20.
Do you play as the main like female cyborg they show the whole time?
Yeah, you play as 2B. She is the main character, and you don't deviate from her. I mean, you have an assistant or like a secondary computer-controlled character called 9S. But yeah, you don't. I haven't played as anyone but 2B.
Okay, cool.
And the other game is I'm still playing the non-array games, actually. I'm still trying to get through all the paths in 999. I put it down because I was just kind of getting bored.
That's going to take forever.
No, I mean, we talked about it last time. You could get through it fairly quick. You could do it in a single sitting.
The first one only has like, I can't remember how many endings, like 9. The second one has like 27 endings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount.
VLR has a stupid amount of endings, but what's good and what I didn't mention last time is that I didn't realize that the 999, the update, has a timeline feature, like a flowchart feature. So if you remember the flowchart from VLR where you could skip to any part without having to replay it, that now exists in 999 too. So rather than having to play every path and remember which way you needed to go, I could just skip to the parts that I needed to complete, and then when I need to do the good ending, the bad ending, and the final ending, then I could do it that way.
Awesome. That helps a lot, yeah. What about you, Matt?
I also have been playing Persona 5. I'm about 30 hours in, I think. I just got past the 3rd palace, so...
Who's all in your team so far?
I got Queen.
Okay, gotcha. So you're at that point, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm really liking it now, so it took me about 15 hours to really start to like that game. But it's good to be a lot of fun, so...
What do you think? How do you feel about the sneaking?
To be honest, I don't use it that much. I would just run up behind people and circle far enough and then jump them. And typically I get the jump on them almost every time.
That's good.
I use cover like sometimes if I get in a sticky situation, but it's like rare so far.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's normal. I know a lot of people talk about using it, but I don't really.
Well, I'm glad you're into it now.
Yeah, 30 hours in July, so I guess I'm going at about the same pace as you. Probably a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
we'll get more into P5 in another episode. Like, we probably should do another revisit of how we feel about this game.
Well, yeah, because you guys pretty much crapped on it like 2 weeks ago.
Well, I hated it for a long time. Now I'm liking it.
Yeah, we're still giving it time. We're giving it a fair shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's so long. Anyways, we'll talk about that another time. Another game I've been playing a lot is Monster Hunter Generations. Mainly just because I have my 3DS in my work bag. So at lunch, I've been, I'll run like a quest or two. That's always a fun game to jump back into. So we'll probably talk more Monster Hunter later. But
yep.
It's definitely gotten me, watching those trailers definitely got me back in the mood to play it. So
awesome. All right, well, thanks for sharing what y'all have been playing so far. Let's jump into new releases real quick. I don't think it's like a crazy month for new releases, but there's some good stuff coming out. ARMS is coming out the end of this week. Are you picking that up, Eric?
Nope. I'm hesitant about ARMS. I know there's a lot of people saying that when they had the test punch go out that they were like on the fence about getting it, but then it proved to them that it was worth getting. But for me, I'm still on the fence.
Yeah,
I feel like that game's right up your alley, to be honest.
It is, but I don't know if the idea of like the gimmicky kind of using the motion controls thing. I was never a fan of the gimmicky motion controls on the Wii, even though I tried to get into it.
You don't have to use the motion controls.
But even the argument is that the motion controls make the game. Same. Yes.
So Eric, you're not sold yet on ARMS.
No, and so Matt was saying he feels it's right up my alley. But as a fighting game player, yeah, I could see it. I'm not about it just yet.
Right. I'm not sure if this came through, but you don't have to use the motion controls, right?
Yes.
Apparently. Okay, cool.
I will go more, I think, at some point into your fighting game history at some point. But are you also not as into like 3D environment fighters versus like a 2D fighter?
No, I mean I could play. Well, yeah, there's a difference between I can play and I like. So I can play the 3D fighters. I'm not as big of a fan of the 3D fighters like Soul Calibur, Tekken, and can't think of another 3D fighter off the top of my head.
Dead or Alive.
Yes, Dead or Alive.
Cool. That's what I figured. Or like the Dragon Ball Z ones.
I don't count Budokai games as 3D fighters, to be honest.
Real fighters, yeah. Okay.
They're kind of their own thing.
Yeah, they're kind of unique, weird things. All right, and then on June 20th, we've got Cave Story Plus coming out once again, this time on the Switch, and you're picking this up?
That I do have actually pre-ordered, and I bought it on 3DS, and that was the actually only time I played Cave Story. I know it was freeware at some point on PC, and then they remastered it like 4 times.
Yeah.
But the inclusion of all the other things, and just I didn't know when I beat it on 3DS that it had multiple endings. I want to go back and revisit it.
Gotcha. I have still yet to play this also, so I'm going to play it on something at some point. Who knows what? Probably 3DS. June 20th also has God Wars Future Past coming out for Vita and PS4. I've got this pre-ordered. I have no idea what to expect, but maybe I should reconsider the pre-order.
I forget what game it's the same makers of. It was a popular Vita game, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. I would say
no clue. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a try. We'll see. I think it was like really cheap too. The price kept falling on it.
Okay, I remember who it was. It's the same people who did Natural Doctrine.
Oh no.
Oh, come on. I like Natural Doctrine. I actually made it to the end, even past the super hard learning curve.
Oh wow.
It was okay.
It's so gray and blue.
I just wanted it to be Valkyrie Chronicles, and it wasn't, and so I got mad.
All right. Well, then June 23rd, we've also got Ever Oasis, which for the 3DS, which looks like a cool game. I know Black Waltz is thinking about picking this up on release.
Yeah, I might pick it up. It looks like Animal Crossing with some questing and some Monster Hunter elements, kind of how the battle system looks. So, I mean, not obviously as in depth, but it looks cool. The last trailer I saw.
Yep, looks a little bit like Dragon Quest Builders too.
Yeah.
But not as building like intensive, so you won't have to spend like hours building the perfect house or whatever. Then June 27th, we've got Valkyria Revolution coming out for almost everything. I'm still not sure if I should pre-order this or not.
I think I have it pre-ordered, but I might cancel it. I'm not sure. It's kind of coming up quick, so.
Yeah, it's physical for PS4 and Xbox One, but it's digital only for Vita. And the thing is that it's nothing like Valkyria Chronicles 1, 2, or 3. It's its own action-based RPG. So if you guys are going in thinking it's like Valkyria Chronicles, I would say give it a second review. It released in Japan 3 or 4 months ago, and it actually came out to little fanfare. I was actually hoping that there would be something substantial, like some actual, like, this is a great game, but I haven't heard crap.
It's so cheap, though. It's like so cheap.
So cheap, like cheap in what way? Cost, or cheap as in like crap?
In cost, like even if it sucks, it's not like I bought in that hard. I think if you buy it on Prime, isn't it like $22 or something? I don't know. Isn't it like $29 or $39 or something? So once you get that 20% off, it's like a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, it's not. It's both God Wars and that and Valkyria Revolution are pretty cheap for pre-order. But I think I need to watch videos on both of these and make a decision. Let's move on. Crash Bandicoot's remastered trilogy is coming out on June 30th. I'm looking forward to that.
Pick it up at the bargain bin.
That's a possibility. But
$19.99.
No, I gotta
Christmas.
say, yeah, I'm gonna wait on this one. Crash was great, but I've played all these on PS1, and I have no urge to revisit.
I have an urge, just not for $60 or however much it is.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think it's only going to be. Is it only going to be 40? I can't remember. But then Tokyo Xanadu is also releasing on June 30th, and I think that's another game that I've heard is maybe not that great.
Isn't that a Falcom game?
Yes, it is, and that's what I was going to counter, and I've actually heard good things about it because it's the same people, well, Falcom, yeah, who did Trails of Cold Steel and the Trails of games.
I feel like Falcom is like a really hit or miss, though. Like, there's like, you're either like the biggest fan ever, or it's not for you. They really
I've heard there's, I mean, I think we should wait until this releases and we get more info, but I don't know. I've heard this one, even though Falcom does have such a good history, just didn't meet expectations.
Well, I've got this pre-ordered, so hopefully I get something out of it. But
so I think hear about it from Eric.
That's how you did pre-order.
Oh, you know why? Is because it's a Vita. It's not a Vita exclusive. It's releasing on PS4 as like a Plus edition, but it's also releasing on the Vita as a collector's edition. There's no standard edition, but it also the collector's edition comes with a Blade card set. So if you played Trails of Cold Steel, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
so the addition of that Blade card set is amazing for the collector's edition, but it's only one Blade deck. So, I mean, technically I'd have to pre-order 2 of these to get another Blade deck, right?
Oh, to be able to play with someone else?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about Blade itself, you can, I mean, what my wife and I did, because we liked Blade, we liked the card game and Trails of Cold Steel so much, is that we just took it took 2 decks of cards and removed everything that
you just drew some like pictures on like a normal deck of cards.
Well, I mean, they use pretty much, your standard
1 through 9, right?
Yeah, suited cards from a deck, so you can just remove everything that Blade doesn't have in it and play it. But still, like, it sucks to only get 1 Blade deck in the collector's edition.
So you guys are just proxying a deck, like in Magic. You just bring the sleeves and you put the little index card in there and write what it is on there.
Well, I was also going to say with The Witcher, when they did the Gwent card in the collector's editions, you only got 1 set of Gwent, which wasn't even like a full card set.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks. I want the like a dual deck, like 2 decks, so I can play against people. But it's still a really cool edition, so I think I'll probably pre-order that if it's still available. It's cheaper on Vita, but I'm going to be annoyed that I didn't get that second deck.
Does anyone notice that Eric doesn't pre-order, but he has like got multiple things on his list pre-ordered?
Hey, I only said 2 things.
That's multiple.
We're changing him, I think.
He's like, oh yeah, I got that pre-ordered. Got that too.
He must have gotten like a pay raise or something.
No, you know what it is? I've said it before, the Switch, I'm kind of like craving something. So Cave Story is one of those things that once it was announced, I wanted it day one, plus I wanted the Amazon discount. And Xanadu I felt was going to be a limited run of collector's editions.
It's okay, you don't have to explain to us. We understand.
You're thirsty for games.
Joey and I were talking about it yesterday, about how, or maybe it was today. Was it earlier today? We were like, Eric's going to switch from the Vita to the Switch and going to be the fanboy for the Switch now. That's the new thing. It's going to happen.
Yep.
It's fine. It's good.
It's fine. We need someone to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about it for new releases in June. There's probably some other stuff, but meh. We'll hopefully we'll have some info on how some of these games played next by the time of our next podcast. Let's go ahead and jump now into the big topic for today, which is our E3 extravaganza. You guys ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right. So obviously, all the big companies were back at E3. When did they start? Like Saturday night or Sunday night? Was it Sunday during the day?
It was Saturday, because I remember watching the finals game at the same time that I was trying to watch Sony or something like that.
EA started on Saturday, and then Microsoft on Sunday.
So let's talk about what we thought about each big company's little presentation thing that they do at E3. EA went first. They had a lot of esports stuff. They did, of course, their Need for Speed type thing, and pretty much just showed some games that were showed in other presentations too, especially with the esports games. They showed Anthem, which is BioWare's new IP that looks pretty good. What did you guys think about the reveal of Anthem?
Matt, you want to take that one?
I mean, I'm a big BioWare fan, and also after playing Mass Effect and not hating it like everyone else did, I'm excited. I also like Destiny a lot, and it seems like they might be able to do that in a better way, in a way that's more to my style and liking. Then again, like, we didn't really see much. We saw like basically a CGI trailer with like some voiceovers of gamers, I guess. I think it was supposed to be, at first I thought they were supposed to be the characters, but then I realized like they're supposed to be the gamers playing the game that you're hearing, like voice chat, which was kind of lame. But
the reveal of this game kind of came over various platforms, right? Like they showed more gameplay during Microsoft's.
Yeah, actually, the real trailer was Microsoft. It was like a couple seconds of like some of the world, and then they were like, "See more in Microsoft." And then I was like, I watched a whole hour of this conference to see that.
Right. But yeah, it does look like a cool game. I think it does, like you're saying, combine like the best elements of Destiny with like a sci-fi type game, and it's cool that you can like fly around without needing like a vehicle.
Well, I mean,
other than your exosuit, I guess.
Again, I'm not sure how much of that is actual gameplay. Like, it's not going to look like that. It looked way too good.
Well, we'll see.
It can't. It never looks that good.
Yeah. And the other, I guess I've got kind of the three big games they showed here. Anthem. And then they showed A Way Out, which is the new co-op game from the creators of Brothers. And this game looked interesting.
So which Brothers game? I kind of was a bit confused at that. Was you talking Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, or was this like a different Brothers game?
The Tales of Two Sons game.
Ah, okay.
So this one, did you see the trailer for this one?
No, I didn't see EA's presentation.
It's basically a co-op game set in a prison, but you can only play co-op. So you'll play one character and someone else will play the other character, and you're having your separate experiences that converge together. So you're kind of working together to escape prison and other stuff, but at the same time you're experiencing your own experience at the same time. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I said experience a lot.
You did.
It's an experience.
It looks all right. If not maybe a little too cliche. I think it'll be okay.
I think it'll be like a YouTuber's dream for like a couple days when it first comes out. They'll all be playing it together and like live streaming it, and then it'll kind of end up being a free PS Plus game down the road, kind of like Brothers was.
That's true. But yeah, that's coming out, and then EA spent a lot of time, of course, pushing the new Star Wars Battlefront game, which now has a story mode, a female main character, supposed to have 3 times the content, of course, new multiplayer action, and then after the show, they showed off a lot of good, just like a big multiplayer battle. You have the ability to play as those little droid thingies that were in like the second or the prequels, the first set of prequels. So that's neat. It looks like it's a really good looking game, and I don't know, it now has a story. So
did you just call the original trilogy the second set of prequels?
Well, the first set of prequels.
Okay.
The droids are in the first, because there's oh wait.
Yeah, just let him go, Matt.
Okay, the prequels.
We got the original, the prequel, and the sequel. That's what we have.
The prequel is a prequel.
So the new ones are sequels?
The new ones are sequels to the original. Did you watch these movies? Are you a fan?
I have given up on Star Wars after the prequels.
Don't say that. Why? No, don't give up. Don't give up. There's hope.
A new hope.
But yeah, are any of y'all picking up Battlefront 2?
Absolutely, day one. Star Wars. I must support the brand.
Well, I was waiting for the Microsoft thing that was coming up, but you realize this is the second Battlefront 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have Battlefront 2, the original, and it's still a great game.
I just find it funny that we're going to be able to play Battlefront 2 with Battlefront 2 on an Xbox X. But anyway.
That is actually kind of true. Anyways, moving on, Microsoft. Yeah, is that next?
That's pretty much it for EA, unless y'all want to talk more sports stuff.
None of us care about FIFA or Madden.
I know you guys are the basketball fans, you know?
Well, yeah, I like basketball. I don't care about the sports games, though.
Like the Washington Golden State players, whatever their names are.
All right.
The California Supersonics.
Well, moving on to another company that doesn't do well in naming things. Microsoft had their conference next, and of course they talked about the Scorpio, which they renamed the Xbox One X.
I think the best takeaway was the meme that if you abbreviate the Xbox One X, it's Xbox.
Xbox, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, the thing costs $499, and it comes out November 7th, and it does all the 4K stuff. There's a pretty cool aspect of it. It does have a liquid cooled vapor chamber.
What does that even
mean? Smaller. That just means it's going to be very cool.
Means there's like
the coolest machine out there.
Your Scorpio is going to vape just like everyone else.
Yes. And it's the smallest Xbox ever, so it's even smaller than the Xbox One S. This is going to be so hard to talk about. But they're continuing the reverse compatibility. They're going to, of course, upscale your older games, and now they're going to put your original. They're going to start making original Xbox games reverse compatible, which is cool, I guess.
So while I'm all for that, and I love the ability to be able to keep any game from my library and go, oh shit, I can play it now. But what does that say? That means you've just given us backwards compatibility.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know how much we want to rag on the Scorpio.
Oh, I'm not ragging on it. I'm just... it's not... I feel like it's not a selling point. I know people are happy about the... Well, I was going to say the price point being much lower than I thought it was going to be.
You're saying the backwards compatibility is not a selling point?
Yes and no.
I feel like I like their stance on it, because Sony's stance is basically like, no one's going to play that anyways.
Well, you know what it is? It's funny because everyone always goes, "Oh, I can't believe this new generation isn't backwards compatible," and they go, "Okay, it's backwards compatible," and they go, "Oh, okay," and they never play any of the games that are backwards compatible. No one focuses on it.
When I had an Xbox One, all I played on it was Red Dead Redemption. No, I played Red Dead Redemption on it. I played Skyrim, and I played Lost Odyssey.
Well, I mean, that's
like
really
pretty much all I played on that system. I played a little bit of Forza when it came out.
Guys, this really does make sense for Xbox because there's no good Xbox
games. Yeah.
So
all their good games are old games, so might as well have it.
It's like when they put Virtual Console on the Switch. Eric will finally have something to play.
They didn't even talk about that, but all right, we'll save that for Nintendo.
All right, but yeah, so Microsoft then dropped the talk about Scorpio, or the Xbox One X as we should now refer to it, and immediately brought out a vehicle onto the main stage and talked about Forza 7. I don't think any of us care about that.
Yeah,
really.
Cool. Next.
No,
Yep.
I actually think Forza is probably one of the better racing car sims, compared to like Gran Turismo and the other ones.
Yeah, but it wasn't a surprise,
Yeah, but
we
we
knew
knew
it
it
was
was going to
coming.
happen. I like the other series better of Forza. What do they call it?
Horizon.
Horizon, yeah. I like the Horizon ones better. They're more arcadey. It's fun.
Yeah. But anyways, they brought a car out onto the stage. Was it like a Porsche? I think it was like a.
It was a car. So next.
Yeah, something expensive. And then they pretty much just talked about Assassin's Creed, which we'll see.
You just skipped Metro Exodus
in the Ubisoft.
Metro looked cool. It looked cool.
Conference.
He's completely skipped.
Do you really care about Metro here?
Wait, what is Metro? I didn't even know what it was. You didn't even give
Metro
me an explanation.
So, the Metro games?
What,
2033?
2033? Yeah, I read the book. I love 2033.
Eric read it and you skipped it. He read the book.
Eric, it's a video game. You're supposed to play it.
No.
What's wrong with you? This is a gaming podcast.
The trailer looked good. You should watch the trailer, Eric.
We can't even talk about books. All right, moving on.
It's supposed to be Geek Envy. It's anything you geek out about. You can geek out about books.
Well, I just got shut down. I can't read.
No, go for it. I mean, yes. There's a new Metro game out.
Okay. Anyways, moving on. It looks good. Check it out.
I think they're outdoors now, and he's like breathing air. I think that was the biggest reveal from that.
Yeah, the other ones were mainly in subways.
Well, yeah. The thing is, 2034, which was a follow up to 2033, was. I can get into the whole history of Metro. That it was
a Metro nerd over here.
Well, yeah, 2033 was actually was a book. It was written by some Russian dude and translated to a game. It was great.
Dostoevsky.
Yep. And 2034 was his second write up to it, which
Along with War and Peace.
Anyway, I never expected them to continue it on, to be honest. I thought it ended and had a solid ending.
Well, surprise, surprise. Looks like you got another game coming.
You should check it out.
All right.
Yep. Then they showed off Assassin's Creed Origins a bit, which, yeah.
We could have skipped
Joey wrote
that.
Ass Creed. He just wrote Ass Creed in the outline. That's it. Ass Creed.
He skips the Metro to go to Ass Creed.
Yeah.
It has arrows that can change directions and go downstairs. Did you see that?
It also has an $800 limited edition bundle.
That's how the trailer ends. Oh, it does have an $800 limited edition bundle. It has some sketches hand drawn.
No, I thought it was some statues.
No, it has that too. It also has some hand drawn sketches and a statue and there's a locket or something in there.
I took a break during this part of the conference. So.
Oh, really? Well, Joey, this is right up your alley with limited editions. You know how you do those unboxings? This could be your magnum opus.
I guess so. We'll have to kickstart the purchase for that.
Yeah, we're launching a Patreon right now.
All right. Let's move on. Code Vein was also shown. Are you guys interested in this game?
Nah.
I kind of am, because it's been marketed as like a Souls game. Like they gave it the first tease of it, gave it the what was it? I forget. It was like a play on Dark Souls' slogan. Anyways, I'm botching this, but it's like Dark Souls, but anime and vampires. So, like, I don't know, it might be fun. It'll be a bargain bin title.
Yeah.
It'll be cool. Maybe.
Okay.
It's not a Microsoft-only game either, I don't think.
Right,
was
yeah.
just shown in that.
Definitely not. Yep. And then they showed, this is where they after Code Vein, this is where they showed more of the Anthem gameplay, where they actually had what was, I guess, a multiplayer session, quote unquote, occurring, and they showed off the environments, they showed off a lot of the gameplay, like the guns you get, the loot you get, the weapons you can use. Game looks good. And after Anthem, this is where I guess they showed off Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yes.
Eric, I missed the trailer for this. Fill me in on why Dragon Ball has another fighting game.
So, this is why this game is amazing. So, Dragon Ball Fighter Z is a 2D fighting game that is not like Budokai, it's not like any of the other ones. It's actually done by ArcSys Works. It's the people who did BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, and the Persona fighting games.
Nice.
Okay.
It reminded me of... Did you ever play... Eric, you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever play Hyperbolic Dimensions on Super Nintendo?
I did not.
It was a Japanese-only game, but I used to have the emulator when I was, like, 15, maybe younger. And it was a 2D Dragon Ball Z fighting game, and it reminded me of, like, a lot of that, like, an upgraded version of that, which is awesome, because that was a great game.
One of the major reasons why I'm so excited about this is not only because ArcSys Works doing it, but because from the gameplay I've seen so far, it looks like it's taken attributes from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So you have a 3-on-3 fight style with a meter bar that goes up to 5. You have like supers and ultras, and you have all types of special moves. You can call assists. I'm just super excited about this game, and I've only seen like 5 characters.
Wait, by 3-on-3 you mean like player 1 chooses 3 characters in their team, and then player 2 chooses an additional 3, their 3 characters, and then like when one of your characters dies, you still have like 2 to go to. Yeah,
so if you played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it's exactly like that, where you have a 3-on-3 style, and you can call assists or even tag in the other. So for example, you can have a team of Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta. Goku being your point to start, and you could call in Vegeta and Gohan as assists, but you could also tag in Vegeta in place of Goku and continue the fight that way.
Gotcha. Are there actually enough Dragon Ball characters to like fill out a big roster?
Have you not watched Dragon Ball?
I only know like everyone that wears orange and the purple dude and the green dude.
Yeah,
they could probably put like over 100 characters in it, and they'd still have more.
Yeah, I think they'll cut it down just to make it appealing. They do it main characters, so you probably have the main Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, main bad guys. Cell is already there. Frieza. You have all the androids. Yeah,
Ooh.
you've got a cast.
Well, that's cool. Did they announce a release date for that?
I don't recall. I'm not sure if they actually did do a release date, but they pretty much said that what was shown was only 20% of completed production or development, and people are already like hands down like money is ready.
Throwing money at the screen now. All right. Well, that's pretty much the big stuff from Microsoft. I know they did show Cuphead off again. Which I'm still looking forward to that game, but I don't even own an Xbox One anymore, so... There
was a lot of, like, weird shit in the middle of the Microsoft.
Yeah, there was a lot of indie stuff that didn't necessarily look bad, just I don't
weird.
think it's... Yeah, it'll probably be on Steam at some point anyway, too, so I don't feel like they're necessarily exclusives.
You'll like, get it in, like, a Steam bundle in, like, a year.
Yeah,
that you bought for a different game, and then you'll be like, oh, I have this, and then not play it.
They did show a new Ori game, though, which looked good. It looked very colorful.
Looked pretty.
Yeah. And then that was it for Microsoft. What did y'all think of the quality of their show this year?
Are we doing like a thumbs up, thumbs down rating, or are we doing like a 9 out of 10?
Do you think they...
I thought they did a good job, like, keeping... It was just like game, a little bit of talking, game. And I feel like that's the way to do it. No one wants to watch nerds be awkward up there and talk about the mechanics.
Yeah, I feel like they stumbled at the front with, like, the Forza stuff after they showed off the Scorpio.
When they had that, like, weird YouTube guy... Oh, wait. Was that EA? That might have been EA.
Yeah, that was EA.
They had, like, the YouTube guy get up there and announce stuff, and he was like,
He stumbled hard.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, he totally missed the scrolling text on his...
Well,
I don't
he
think he
said the
had
prompter
one.
was an issue, but anyway, we could talk about that later.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't... I thought they did a good job of, like, just showing how they cared about their new system, showing how they cared about people asking for the reverse compatibility, and then showing what they could in terms of games that they have and possibly exclusives that they have. It's not enough to make me go out and buy another Xbox One S or put the X on pre-order, but it was nice to see the quality they put into the presentation.
Cool.
All right, and then Bethesda was late Sunday night.
Yeah, I totally dozed off and set an alarm and woke up. And
I was wondering if
half asleep.
If you were asleep like halfway through.
Well, I was watching it on my phone in bed, so I couldn't text you without stopping the stream.
Right. Okay, I gotcha. Leaving all my texts just there.
I saw them.
Lonely text.
I replied in my mind. I felt loved.
They had their little Bethesda Land theme going on, little theme park theme, and I saw pictures of their setup at E3, and it looked really cool. They had like a little carnival type area with like food and snacks and stuff, so it looked really cool. They went big on VR this year. They announced Doom for VR, which they call like Doom VFR. They announced Fallout, a VR version of Fallout 4, and even though we don't have it here, they did announce at the Sony press conference a VR version of Skyrim. So that's exciting, I think. Like, gives me better reasons to save up and purchase a PSVR. Do you guys care about the VR yet?
Yeah, when I get one in the bargain bin, I'll totally fire up games I already have that have VR modes.
Not even bargain bin for me. Unless someone gives me VR, I'm not going to care.
I'm pretty sure these games are just going to make me vomit like all day long.
It'll just be constant vomiting as you're playing.
Yeah.
But it's so pretty.
No, with Skyrim, I think like I'm just going to put the VR system on, load up Skyrim, and just like sleep in virtual reality.
I can see people like not being able to see, and like their little sister walks by and they like punch her in the face.
Yeah, hopefully like you don't have to
like swinging swords and stuff with like blind. Yeah.
I'm not doing any motion controls for these games.
No move controllers.
Right. Then they went into Elder Scrolls stuff. I think we should, as a podcast group, try out this game at some point. I know it's gone cheap digitally a lot, and
I kind of want to try out the Morrowind content, to be honest. It looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, to get there, we'll have to go through all the other content too, right?
No. Apparently, you can
just start in Morrowind.
They have it set up so I forget what it is. Something about the world. It's set up so that everyone can play together, and you don't need to be like maxed to be able to do all the content.
That's good. Are you down for that, Eric?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
I'm going to play on PlayStation, though, if you guys...
It's free to play, right?
I
believe so.
Kind of.
Not free to purchase, but free to play. And then, it does have like...
No, there's a paywall to be able to get all the content.
Yep. Which kind of sucks, but okay, that's fine. And then talking about a paywall, they're adding in... so, of course, they added mods to Fallout and Skyrim, but now they're adding a pay-for-mod capability called the Creation Club, and I know this has created some chaos in the gaming community. You want to talk about this one more, Matt?
It's not even, I'm stepping in, because it's not even that it's created chaos now. They tried this already.
It was different last time.
But they still tried it. And that's
they did try it.
And I think it was called like the mod failure of like 20 whatever. It just didn't go.
The way they did it last time, I think, was a bad move. The way they're doing it this time, I think, is kind of a good move. I see what they're going for. It's supposed to be separate from the normal mod content, and the way they're going about it seems like it'll have a specific audience for old games, which I think is fine.
Right. It's kind of like it's kind of inviting content creators to say, if you'd like to get paid for your content, we'll have this.
And it's not even taking
available
it's
over
not even,
here. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying they're inviting those creators who would like to see some compensation.
Right,
use
and
a specific channel, but they're not clearing out the other channels.
True, and they're not even going to be able to take the content from that mod channel and move it into the pay channel. It's like it all has to be brand new content. It has to be curated. Like, they posted on their websites everything that they need for the third-party creators, and it's going to have to be all new content, no previous mods. It's going to have to work with all their scripts and versions of the game. It's also going to have to work with like trophies and all that, and Bethesda's going to be paying them all up front before it even goes in. It's going to go through alpha and beta testing.
I wonder how that's going to work, though. Is it just like a flat rate of $5 per mod, while Bethesda will make, $2 per mod transaction?
This is just for third party. Apparently, the majority of the content they're planning on creating themselves in-house. So it's like if other people want a bandwagon, they can. They just have to go through their rigorous process, and then this stuff will be in this special section for people to buy.
All right, not keeping too much time on Creation Club.
Yeah, I think it's mostly positive.
I get that it's a cash grab. I also get that, honestly, I want to play mod content on my PS4, and I want my trophies to work with it. So I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, that's another bonus, is that trophies will be able to work on it, whereas currently, if you utilize mods on these two games, the achievements are locked. Also,
I was telling you, Joey, this the other day, like, I tried to remod Skyrim about a month ago to do, I don't know if you guys have heard of Ultimate Skyrim, but it's like a mod pack that someone like put together a bunch of mods, and you have to go and they tell you how to do it. It took me about like 4 hours to get it running, maybe 5, because I'm not very good at that type of thing. And also there's like 200 mods in there, and then you gotta like tweak it to make it run on your computer right and everything. And honestly, like, I'd pay someone $20 to just get it so it would ran right and didn't crash ever, and ran smoothly. And mine still doesn't run smoothly; it still slows down.
And I think one of the things you'll see when you're looking at mods in Nexus is that, these mod creators are saying, like, if you enjoy this mod, like, please consider donating here. So, I mean, I think they would benefit from some sort of compensation. Like, who wouldn't? Like, they're putting their time into this, and it's only going to create better content if they feel like to have the time and money to devote to something like this.
Right.
All right, well, let's move on from that. I didn't even know this was out yet, but they talked more about the Elder Scrolls Legends strategy card game.
It's out on like PC and Android, I think, or something.
Yeah, or PC. I don't know if it's out on...
Maybe not Android.
they announced Heroes of Skyrim content coming to the card game. I don't think any of us have tried this yet, but...
No, I've been waiting for it to come to iOS, so I'll probably be trying it now.
Yeah, so they did announce that it would be coming in mobile devices, which is cool. And then just for you and your little amiibos, Eric, Skyrim was announced for the Switch.
Yay. Not really.
You're not going to pick this up?
No, and it's in one of my talking points for biggest disappointment, but we'll get to that eventually.
When I get a Switch, I'm totally going to get Skyrim. I could play that on the go.
You're going to get...
You know what?
You're going to get the new Legend of Zelda game, which is basically Skyrim for the Switch.
I'll do that first. And then when I'm bored...
you're going to get Skyrim for the Switch.
Okay, there's not going to be that many games for Switch always. There's going to be big lags.
The last Elder Scrolls game I played was the 360 one, which was not Skyrim. It was the one before it.
Oblivion?
Yes.
So you never even played Skyrim?
I have it on 360. I never played it.
Well, why are you sad about this?
You should get it on Switch.
It's a brand new game for you on Switch, a system that has nothing other than a game you already have.
Well, it's games not even going to come out for a while, but it's just that...
No, everything that was shown in the Bethesda thing is coming out this year, so that includes that. They said it at the end. So that is 2017 Skyrim for Switch.
Anyway.
It's a big game for the Switch, really. I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just saying it's pretty kind of a big deal for Nintendo.
Motion control arrows.
You don't have to use motion controls. It's only if you want.
You won't have to use that, and then you can dress up as Zelda or Link.
You mean
maybe Zelda too? I mean, you can make a female character in Skyrim.
No, you have to dress as Link only, even if you're a female.
Joey may have a point because with the amiibo functionality, you have different outfits and weapons depending on the amiibo. So Breath of the Wild Archer, I think, gives you that outfit in the Master Sword or something like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not male-centered only, because...
Well, there's a Zelda Breath of the Wild amiibo, so I'm sure you can get a female outfit for Zelda.
We'll see. But then also coming out, I thought this was going to interest Matt more than it seemed like it did, but there's a Dishonored, pretty much just like what would you call this? Like a side story?
Well, yeah, I thought it was DLC, but they're doing a standalone this time, but Dowd was a character in the original Dishonored. He's actually kind of an antagonist at one point to your character in the first game, and then the first DLC is like Dowd's story, and you get to play as Dowd. And so I just thought it was a continuation of that, and it was like play as Dowd again in Dishonored 2, which it kind of is, but it's a standalone instead of a DLC.
So Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, releasing September 15th. It's pretty cheap for $30. I mean, are you expecting just maybe an 8-hour game here, or a 6-hour game?
I'd probably say 5.
Wow. All right.
But the thing is how Dishonored's set up is you can play through it multiple times to get a different kind of experience. There's different play styles.
Right.
I didn't do that. In these games, I find if I go full chaos, I regret it. Or if I go full stealth and no kill, I regret it. So I just go through, I'm really stealthy until someone finds me, and then I go, oh shit, and I kill everybody real quick, and then I go hide.
Gotcha.
First Dishonored game, actually, I made my whole point of being the first playthrough, no kills, all stealth.
Yeah, I tried that, and I got so frustrated that I was just like, screw this, I'm killing people when I need to.
I'll admit I had to reload in certain parts, but I made it through.
I don't like reloading, unless it's like Fire Emblem. That's the only game I reload.
Or if it's really quick, if it's really fast to just reload. But usually it's not.
Right.
All right, well, let's move on. They also talked about Quake Champions, which is a super fast FPS, and I think they're pushing this for an esports
Well, yeah, that's like the first esports game.
Yeah, so they're I guess their big thing was advertising this World Championships they'll be having in Dallas.
Joey's going. He's going to report for us.
You will.
As the resident Texan.
Yes, and as the resident person who gets first-person shooter sickness, so I'm the perfect person to go there.
You'll be there throwing up in the front row.
I didn't pay too much attention to that part of the conference, but Quake is a fun game. It's like I do better with sickness when the FPS is really fast, like Quake, or what was it, like Time Splitters.
Time Splitters was so good. I wish that game was still around. Last time I played Quake a Quake game was on Dreamcast. I think there was like Quake Championship or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while.
Played some of that.
But yeah, maybe I'll try this out. I don't know. I'll have to see how sick I get. Then they went into 2 really good back-to-back trailers and games.
These were the 2 new IPs that they kind of teased via Twitter beforehand.
Well, I mean, is them getting a spot in Bethesda land, like them officially becoming an IP?
Well, I mean, it was like under construction in the thing, so you knew they were going to talk about all the other things in there in the Bethesda land, and then those were the 2 unknowns.
Gotcha. Could you even claim that these are new IPs? I mean,
well, they're not. Okay, I used the wrong terminology, guys. I'm sorry.
He's just saying new areas of Bethesda land. So, like, these are.
Hey, don't defend him.
You don't know where basketball teams are from.
I think I got what he was saying. Anyways, first one they showed off was Evil Within 2, which was like the trippiest trailer I had seen up to that point. That's coming out October 13th, and it looks really good. And I haven't even played the first one.
I'm excited.
It makes me want to go and play the first one and then prepare for this one.
Why not Halloween? Like, it's clearly doing the horror tropes. Why not the 31st? Let's see.
Well, 10/13.
Oh, the 13th is a Friday.
13th. Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's fair. But the 31st is a Tuesday. Just saying.
Yeah, I'd still take a Halloween over a Friday the 13th.
And it's a Tuesday, which is normal release day, so that's weird. Because it's not a Nintendo game.
It's a Friday the 13th, giving people the weekend to play the game.
It's giving them 3 weekends until Halloween.
Well, no, but I'm saying, would you rather release on a Tuesday where some people still have to go to work and can't play it, or would you rather release it on a Friday the 13th and let them have the weekend to play it?
Then why does every game release on Tuesday?
Not Nintendo games.
Why do CDs release on a Monday and DVDs on a Wednesday or whatever?
I used to know the reason for this.
Do you buy CDs, Eric?
No, but I know when I used to buy CDs, like release day was like on a Monday or Thursday or something like that.
Gotcha.
So if Matt remembers why that is,
I can't remember. I used to know because I used to work in the bookstore and people used to talk about it because we always had to work overnight on Mondays to put up all the new stock of like books and CDs and everything for Tuesday. And someone explained it to me once. Oh well, who cares?
Yeah. And then the next trippiest trailer I had seen after Evil Within 2 was the Wolfenstein 2 trailer, which was announced. And this game looks amazing.
Yeah, Joey was really into this.
It looks like a Tarantino movie mixed in with like an animated crazy movie like Cold World. I don't know if you remember that. This game looks. I didn't really care. Like, I don't even care that much about killing Nazis. Like, I'm kind of over how many games use that. But this game makes killing Nazis look interesting again. So, I think I'm going to pick it up.
I was gonna say it's the whole idea of the alternate realities. I love the play on, it doesn't have to be the standard like World War II. What if the Nazis won? This is just like way into the future. Like the U.S. is Nazi land.
You should check out Man in the High Castle. It's like a Philip K. Dick
Yeah, that's
and it's an Amazon TV show now.
Yeah, I've seen the advertisements for that.
That's what that's about.
Okay.
Wolfenstein 2.
You should check it out. Anyways, Joey, you should play the first one because the first one is
colorful as this one looks.
It's crazy too.
Because I don't like first-person shooters when they're like all brown and dark.
It starts out that way, but it moves on.
All right,
that game has a similar tone to the trailer.
I think I own it digitally, so I'll give it a shot.
You probably do, and if you don't, it's on sale right now digitally.
All right, we got to move on.
Okay.
From Ubisoft, they had a really good presentation. Or from Bethesda, I'm sorry, they had a really good presentation. I liked the Bethesda land, and of course, they always have a really good aesthetic to their show.
Yeah, I like that Bethesda's new thing is like not announcing things early. So they were literally like, everything that you've seen today, it will be out this year.
Right. Bethesda their game development is really on this yearly schedule, isn't it? Where like they develop games, they go to E3, they announce them, and they release them, and then they just repeat the same thing over and over again. That's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, they just don't get ahead of themselves like some people who like announce games like a game we're going to talk about next.
Yep.
When we see a trailer 7 years ago about it, and then nothing until now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, then let's get right into it. After Bethesda was Ubisoft. They announced, I guess, the game that everyone was looking forward to, Mario plus Rabbids. This I have like... How do you even name this game? What's the official name for this game?
Mario X Rabbids, I think. I think that's exactly it.
It has a subtitle. Something Kingdom something. I forget.
What's this coming out on? I'm confused. Is this Switch only?
It's Switch. Yeah.
Its Kingdom Battle is straightforward. Or yeah, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
I honestly thought it looked pretty awesome. It's like Mario XCOM.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna hate it, and it was gonna be the dumbest thing ever when I heard about it, but it looks pretty, and it looks like a game I would play.
Yeah, I'm still hating it.
I just like XCOM style games. Like, I love XCOM, I love Valkyria Chronicles, that whole type of battle system.
Yeah,
is
don't
awesome.
get me wrong, I agree with you. I love it. I just, why Rabbids? Why Mario? Can we get like some other franchise?
So, Rabbids are really big in, like, France, apparently. They have, like, a big European presence.
They're like the Minions.
Well, they're like the Minions of France. Like, apparently in France, they have, like, a TV show and everything.
Jeez.
Oh, God. All right.
Yeah, so okay. I guess it makes sense. I mean, it's weird. But in terms of what it could have been, I feel like this is almost the best case scenario, what we saw.
Maybe it's to make up for all the bad release dates that Nintendo gamers in Europe get.
Maybe.
All right, and then they talked more about Assassin's Creed Origins.
We could skip that.
Do we care about this game?
Yeah, skip.
No, skip.
Is this... Wait, can I ask, like, what's the importance of the Origins aspect of this? Is this like a remake of one?
This is where the... What are they? It's the Assassins and the Templars. This is where the Assassins Guild or whatever started, was in Egypt, apparently. This is like the prequel of all the prequels.
So it's like a soft reboot.
Yeah, there's supposed to be no Animus stuff, apparently.
Okay. Whatever. So it's actually like all in the past.
Yeah.
No,
and apparently they're bringing like some mythological thing. There was like a basilisk in the trailer. So.
Cool. And then they talked about The Crew 2, which featured a lot of high-speed chases, some ridiculous... Like, this lady climbed out of a moving vehicle and jumped onto another moving vehicle. Do you guys care about this game at all?
No. Do not care. Okay. Although, hey, does Codemaster still make that?
No clue.
Oh. They just put out a Micro Machines game, and I wondered if it was good.
Okay.
Anyways, never mind.
South Park was back with another trailer for the Fractured But Whole video game that they are still working on. I hope that comes out sometime because first game was good.
I love the play on words here. I don't even think it's written out, but I didn't realize how it was written out until you said it.
It's a joke. It's a joke about buttholes.
Yeah, but it's spelled out whole as in WHOL, like the fraction, but the whole.
Yeah, it's actually like it's actually like a really deep subtitle. The fractured butthole.
There's actually been full theses written on this subtitle. That's how deep it is.
And then what really came as a surprise is Ubi then switched to this kind of odd trailer that featured Frodo. And I guess Frodo is now the creative director for a company, and they're making a video game.
I don't know. Elijah
Wood. Thank you. I forgot his name. So yes, Elijah Wood, creative director for, I forget what company, is coming out with a game called Transference, and we didn't see any gameplay. I don't think we really even saw CG footage from it. We just saw kind of like a concept type video. So you can go check that out if you're more interested. And then Ubisoft was here to prove that pirates aren't over yet, even though pirates are pretty much over yet. And we saw a trailer and some gameplay for Skull and Bones. Thoughts?
I didn't know Ubisoft had a Singapore studio until that game was announced.
I didn't even watch the Ubisoft thing, to be honest.
Okay, thoughts on pirates in video games still?
Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the only game that I can give a pass for.
Well, that's why this game exists, is because everyone likes that game, but they were like, we wish it didn't have assassins in it, and it was just pirates. And so this is how that came to be.
So I played a little bit of Black Flag, and taking down pirate ships is really tedious.
I liked it.
Okay. Well,
how can you not like sea shanties? They were singing some sea shanties as you went across the open water, and you saw a boat, and you'd take them out.
I guess I didn't.
If you just shot them and they were like, "Oh, you got the booty," you'd be like, "Wow, this is not realistic."
But yeah, once you take down, all the little boats you take out should be like, "Oh, you shot them, you took them out. Here's the booty," and you're like, "Okay." But then there's that big.
No, I like to swing up beside them and latch onto the boat and swing across and start killing everyone, and that's awesome.
Matt knows what's up.
You're a pirate in a past life, I guess. And then they did this odd little switch where they talked about South Park, and then they showed 2 other games, and then they came back and talked about South Park, where they showed off South Park's new mobile game called Phone Destroyer. Why this one doesn't have a pun, I don't know, but
maybe it is a pun and you just don't know it.
Maybe I'm not saying it right. But this is a strategy game for iOS and Android, and it looked okay. I think that's all.
Next.
Yeah, I think that's all.
I'm falling asleep here, guys. Come on.
All right, let's speed it up. So Starlink, we had Starlink. Toys on Switch.
I don't think we can really speed this up because we've got Starlink next, and this is so bizarre. Eric, you didn't see this?
No, I'm telling you, I didn't watch Ubisoft. I'm not
okay.
Dude, it's a Switch game.
So Eric, they announced the Switch game Starlink, and I almost feel like I should just tell you to pre-order it, and you should never look into this game. And then when it comes out and you receive it in the mail, you'll play it for the first time, and we'll get your fresh perspective on this. Because if I tell you what it's about, it's just ruined.
Be prepared for attachments.
But anyways, I have to tell you, Starlink is a game that Ubisoft announced that features an attachment that attaches to the little, that little block that you put your Switch Joy-Cons on.
I believe it's called a nubbin.
What?
The nubbin.
The thing that makes your Switch Joy-Cons look like a puppy dog.
Oh, that thing?
Yeah. So this game comes with an attachment that attaches to that, And then you can purchase small little
other attachments.
Yeah, you can purchase small spaceships, which then attach to that attachment.
It's an attachment that attaches to another attachment that also attaches.
Yes.
That have attachments because you can change them out and like modify these little ships.
I'm watching the trailer
it's a sci-fi.
as you
guys
are
sci-fi
speaking.
game, and you can very much like an amiibo or a Skylander,
but it attaches.
Yeah, and
I mean, the comparison is pretty much that this is like Mass Effect and No Man's Sky, but you build your ship via all these little attachments that attach to the attachment.
Yes.
This is bad.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, jeez.
So Eric's going to pre-order that and then review it on Geek Envy.
Yeah.
Episode 20, probably.
So anyways,
special episode.
Are we done with this one?
So that's that.
Yeah,
and then an expansion, The Steep, was out. That's the snowboarding game. They showed more about Far Cry 5.
Looks good, but we talked about it.
And then they pulled the old little switcheroo, the old cover over your eyes, the old you didn't see it coming, and they told you that Beyond Good and Evil 2 wasn't going to show up at E3. That French guy lied.
Yeah, what a liar. He literally said, no, it's not going to be there. I won't be there.
And it was here. So Beyond Good and Evil 2, totally different. It's got a super facelift, but it does look good.
Yeah. Much more mature tone. They like the F-bomb, and they like monkeys saying the F-bomb. And I believe it's a prequel to Beyond Good and Evil.
It is.
Oh, right. That's true. Even though they called it the second one.
Even though at the end of Beyond Good and Evil, they had that little like tidbit that was like kind of an allusion to a sequel. But this is a prequel.
They're not ready for the sequel.
Last time we saw a trailer for this was 7 years ago. And it was like a desert and a pig and Jade like chilling and it was hot or something and there was an umbrella. That's all I remember.
And it was probably a sequel at that point.
Yeah. And now it's a prequel with cursing monkeys.
So I'm assuming what they're doing is they're saying, we're not sure how well this is going to go over. We're totally changing the look of it, the tone. So let's make it a prequel. And if they like it, maybe we'll do a sequel.
On Twitter, what's his name? The French guy said it's supposed to be GTA in space. He also said the last 3 years they have spent building an engine for this game. And apparently it's supposed to have 2 modes, a single-player mode and a multiplayer mode.
Fantastic.
That's all I know.
That's a lot. That's a lot to promise.
Yeah.
GTA in space.
I'm excited because I love the first game, but I have no idea what to expect. And at this point, like, if it's happening, cool.
It's probably going to end up being Far Cry in space.
It'll probably have, like, a lot of, like, points on a map, and you'll have to, like, collect a lot of things, I'm guessing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was it for Ubisoft, unless anyone has anything else they want to say about Ubi.
No, let's move on. This podcast's getting long. Sony.
Then we went to the big hitter, the big time. My favorite game company and yours, Sony, which started off terribly in terms of the stream. No audio for us watching at home. Not the case, obviously, for those in the audience. They started off with a sitar and a drummer.
And a cool, like, waterfall show.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. And they went into the new Uncharted spin-off, which features 2 of the female characters from previous Uncharted games. So that was that. Then they announced some Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, which expands on the story.
In the north. The north.
In the north, yes, there's a lot of snow. And they went into... Then they showed off some serious gameplay for the Days Gone game. Which to me just pretty much looks like Tomb Raider with zombies.
No. Days Gone looked definitely more like The Last of Us with zombies.
Okay, it looked kind of like The Last of Us if it married Tomb Raider with zombies.
I feel like everything just looks like Tomb Raider these days. Like,
Joey, not everything is Tomb Raider,
man.
Like everything's like, oh, climb this, Like, hide over here, hide
just
over
so you
there.
know, Tomb Raider wasn't the first game
that.
to do that. Like, the Tomb Raider reboot just, like, copied Uncharted.
Right, so
like,
everything looks like that style, and I don't know, not that into it. Yeah. But you're into this, Eric.
I am.
I think it looks cool, but, like, I'm not that excited for it for whatever reason.
Is no one tired of zombies yet?
I'll get it and play it eventually, but I'm not excited.
Cool.
Like, I feel like biker killing zombies, like, it's just like what's his name in Walking Dead.
What, like, Norman Reedus' character?
Yeah, yeah. It's just like supposed to be like a play on him. I feel like, which is a great character. I love The Walking Dead, but it's like okay. Anyways,
agreed. Matt, I think I'm gonna let you take this next one.
Okay. Monster Hunter World. I know Eric is a semi Monster Hunter fan, but that was announced. Really good trailer. It seemed very cinematic and quite different. I think a lot of the Monster Hunter community had some concerns about it. It seemed like it was only going to be single player and that they were kind of dumbing it down for a Western audience. But I watched some other interviews with like the dev team and like some of the YouTube personalities that are really into Monster Hunter that have really like forwarded the Monster Hunter community and like made all those tutorial videos to help people get into it. And the things I kind of took away from it were that they've said that all 14 weapons are returning. So it's going to be similar to that. They're basically haven't taken anything really out of the game. They've just added things in it. So you still have your palicos, the little cats, and the armor system that you get with that. There's still going to be online play. There's also going to be an offline play, so you won't have to be online, but you can be. At some point in the trailer, you'll see the character like shoot a flare up into the sky, kind of like at the end as he's fighting the big T-Rex thing. And that's basically going to be their new multiplayer mechanic. You can do it the old way when you kind of meet everyone in a hub and then embark on a quest, but you'll be able to actually like shoot up a flare so people can drop in and help you, which is very Dark Souls-ish, which I think is interesting because I think Monster Hunter and Dark Souls are very similar in terms of like what they try to do. Seamless open world map. There's going to be no loading screens, no more like go from zone 1 to zone 2 to zone 7. None of that's going to be in there anymore. You're going to jump in, be in a seamless world. You will be able to go underwater, but there's going to be no underwater fighting.
No Plessy?
Yeah, that was only Monster Hunter 3, and I don't think a lot of people loved it. I didn't love it. They kind of got rid of it, but you'll be able to go underwater but not fight things. It's just like get to another section. They're aiming for across all consoles stable 30 frames per second, and that includes Pro and the Scorpio or X or whatever. So it's not supposed to kind of be better on those systems. Or it might look better or something like that. They haven't announced that, but it's not going to be better in terms of frames per second.
So I don't know if you guys are like me, but a lot of times when I watch these presentations and they don't put the game title right away, I'm like, wait, is it that game? Because I was watching it and I saw the sword. I was like, that looks really Monster Hunter familiar. Like, is that a Monster Hunter game? But yet, it didn't look like a Monster Hunter game. So a lot of times when they do these things, I'm like, wait, is it what I think it is?
Right.
Yep.
I did the same thing. And then, like, when I saw, like, they had the bugs, like the little fly icon that's, like, one of the collect points in Monster Hunter usually. I saw that in, like, one of the corners, and I was like, that seems very Monster Hunter-ish. And then...
Yeah, I wasn't sure until the Capcom logo came on.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised, though, because the Monster Hunter World like name leaked before E3, and everyone was like, "Oh, Monster Hunter XX for Switch is just going to be rebranded Monster Hunter World for American audiences," because Monster Hunter X was rebranded Generations, so they just figured that's would be what it was, and it ended up being a whole new game. Sadly, though, XX GameSpot just announced that it's not coming stateside. They received confirmation, so it looks like Monster Hunter World is going to be the next thing for us to play.
Yeah. But
it looks really good. I'm excited about this.
You have to get it this time. Seriously, you have to play with me.
I mean, I own Monster Hunter games. I just never play them.
Joey bought Monster Hunter 4 to play with me and then never played with me.
I had the other Monster Hunter game too on 3DS.
You have Generations?
I have the one on Wii U. I just like...
Oh, Try? Or,
yeah.
3U.
Try. No, it was a Try, because it was...
Try was on Wii, and then Wii U was 3U, I think. Because it was like the
Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
Yeah.
On Wii U, yeah. Alright, but yeah, I'll be picking that one up and giving it a shot. It looks really good.
Eric,
Shadow of the Colossus.
You should get to Eric. Seriously.
Oh, I will.
Good.
Shadow of the Colossus made was the next trailer, and boy, that was surprising. This is not a remaster, as my
a remake?
falsely state. Yeah, it's a full remake, which is cool, because we'll get those modern
I'm super excited about this.
I'm super excited, too.
I wonder if they'll bring in the supposed 17th Colossi, or if they'll expand on the worlds.
Hopefully they put in... Hopefully, more Colossi would be awesome.
Did you guys beat this game on PS2?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
This is actually one of the games on PS2 that not only did I beat, but I would go back just to kind of continue exploring the world. I even climbed that secret garden.
When I beat this game, I felt so sad I never touched it again.
I just felt... I was, in the mood for,
melodrama.
Melancholy. Yeah, melancholy type stuff. Because I think I just played Ico recently, and then I was like, this game is amazing, and then Shadow of the Colossus came out, and I was like,
I never really played Ico. I should play that.
Ico's great. And also, another book that I've read.
Oh yeah, I have that book too.
We should go through video game books we've read, because I have a couple.
We'll save that. We'll make
one
that
day.
for another episode.
All right, next podcast.
Eric, tell me what the hell I was watching in this next game trailer.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yes.
So Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is obviously the next reach into the MVC kind of series after Marvel vs. Capcom 3. They've gone back to the 2v2 format, which is I guess Marvel superheroes or that kind of idea of older Marvel vs. Capcom games. I don't know what you were watching, but this was kind of just like a teaser trailer, I'd say. They showed some of new characters that are returning from the they're showing new characters and most returning characters from the other Capcom games, but they went further into the actual gameplay during later sessions of E3.
Oh, okay. So they mostly showed off the wonky looking storyline, I guess.
Yeah. During
the main trailer. Is this a game that has people excited?
Yes and no. I mean, like I said, when it was showed, some people were like, "Eh." I think the biggest issue with this is that it came after Dragon Ball, and a lot of people were overly hyped for Dragon Ball, and everyone that was kind of had interest in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite had already lost interest.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, that's funny because Dragon Ball pretty much just took the MVC system.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And in the earlier thing is that they took a lot of what people were used to in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and kind of put that in alongside what I feel is the what I feel is they took that system and put it into the Blaze Blue kind of Guilty Gear system. But Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite does have some interesting characteristics to it. Like I said, they showed more gameplay and kind of a breakdown of what the system works or how it looks now in a later E3 session, but we could get to that later.
Okay, cool. It did look kind of interesting. I might want to try it at some point, but probably... I feel like this game is going to be like the other MVC games and never really hit the bargain bin.
No, they never did. But I honestly feel that this one might be a bargain bin just because the comparisons are that they took a lot of the assets from the Marvel mobile game, the mobile fighting game.
Oh no!
And there's also the drama around on this DLC again with Capcom.
Oh great! Yeah. Okay, that sounds fun. All right, so moving on. obviously they had to show off some Call of Duty stuff. Does anyone care about that game?
No, hooray, move on.
And of course, since PlayStation has its own VR system, they had to go deep into VR. They showed off a little bit of Skyrim, which, you can't, it just looks like Skyrim. Like, you can't really tell anything.
I was gonna say we could skip most of the VR stuff. The only awesome things that I think stood out was the funny side of Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
He had a fishing game.
As someone
I actually
okay.
I would play that. I would play it.
You're the only one here that had the stomach to have played through all of Final Fantasy 15. What the hell is going on in this game?
You mean with all the crazy DLCs that they're keeping?
No,
like
with Monster of the
fishing deal.
Why is this a game?
Because they said they do VR, and now they had to make something. And like, to be honest, once you beat Final Fantasy 15 through the story, like the only thing you really want to do is like, I don't really care about any more story. Like, I don't want any more of that. Like, the cool stuff was like fishing and like some of the crazy bosses. So I think they're trying to capitalize on that.
So one of the things I'm assuming the way this game's going to play out is you're going to have like fishing missions, and then you're going to have like times where you're hanging out with the bros by the campfire,
cracking open the cold one.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it, you think?
I guess. I mean, probably. It's Final Fantasy.
It's an experience. I mean, I'd try it if it a bargain bin.
The thing is it DLC? Like, does it something I have to buy? Because I bought the season pass for Final Fantasy 15 when I was really enjoying it.
No, this is a separate game.
So, like, shouldn't I get it all for free? Like, give it all to me for free. I bought that season pass.
I guess we'll find out at some point. But yeah, this was a crazy trailer to see.
I don't think it's a separate game, because then, like, the hanging out with the bros, like, what context would that be in? But what context would it be in? It'd just be like, these are some guys I know.
No, it's the hanging out with the bros on the road trip. Let's get, they deviated and went fishing. And
but how do you DLC this? Do you
honestly,
have an option at the camp where it's like, put on your headset now, we're at the camp?
So having beaten Final Fantasy 15, they probably would have been better as, like, if after they went out, they were just like, screw this, let's just go fishing all the time, and only did that. They probably would have been better off.
All right, well, it's a thing.
There was another VR game that was it mouse? It was like a mouse, or not mouse?
Moss.
Yeah.
Skipping ahead by 2.
Yes, because VR is completely useless.
Because no one cares about Bravo Team. Next.
No.
The odd
thought
thing
it was
about
Redwall, but it's not.
They also said
Redwall.
This game would take about 500, not 500 hours, but it's a long-winded kind of game in VR.
So by the time you're done, you need glasses more.
But what was interesting about Mouse and Star Child was that they showed off what seemed to be third-person type experiences, but with VR.
Was Star Child the 2D platformer in VR? So, like, what's that? Just like a screen in your eyes, and you just play it like a normal TV?
Not sure yet.
You just look around a screen? Because that's not VR. That's stupid.
We could be wrong. All right, moving on from VR. The God of War reboot, obviously.
Old man Kratos.
Yeah, got some play.
With a beard.
I do not like old man Kratos.
So here's my question about this game. So, like, I kind of got it in the first couple of games, like God of War. Like, he's a warrior and stuff, so he's got all this war paint on him. Like, why is that dude still white and red? Is that, like, forever on him?
That's a good question.
Because he's, like, in a cabin with his son. Like, does he never take it off? He's like, sorry, son, I gotta, like, war paint up today so we can, like, have a bonding moment.
I mean, I played through 1 and 2, and I played through the PSP games, but I don't ever recall them explaining why he had... Did they say it was war paint, or did they say it was...
I just kind of assumed because he was, like, a warrior and stuff. Like, I don't see any Greeks that, like, are just red and white. I don't think that's hereditary for Greeks.
There was like another character they showed in the game too that looked like maybe older and bigger than Kratos is, and he had the same color scheme going on.
So maybe it's like a tribe or something.
Yeah.
What I love is that it's angry dads. That's like the theme of some of these games.
That's true.
Angry dads with beards.
I'm not digging the reboot. But this will go bargain bin. So.
I heard someone, I think it was some video game journalist, probably on IGN or something, describe it as like the first couple games were about like unleashing your anger on the gods, and this is like tempering your anger because you have a son. Holding it back. Making it a teaching moment.
Kind of know when to pick your battles.
I guess.
What else? They showed off some of Detroit Become Human, which is like obviously a metaphor in a box.
So my question with this was, the last time we saw it, wasn't it a different guy? So is this going to be like Heavy Rain when you play different characters? Or the way this trailer seemed was that like this is the main character that you're going to be the whole game. So did they just like change everything?
Maybe. Eric,
what wasn't the last guy like some white dude with like spiky hair or something in the front?
So I don't remember actually seeing a trailer about this beforehand, but I did watch this one during the presentation, and it just seemed like it was Heavy Rain in a sense, but also that it had like 700 different branches that you could take based on like your actions. So you could hide, you could have conflict with the police, but yet you can also run up. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just all over the place.
It looks cool. I definitely will play it. I liked Heavy Rain a lot. I got like a one as much
Blade Runner feel from this.
Yeah, it definitely has Blade Runner going on.
All right, but yeah, it looks good, and it has virtual graffiti. That's a thing in the future.
Except it like sucks and it like it's always like flickering off.
Yeah, it's not the easiest to see.
I'm just saying, like, even in the future, they could probably still use paint.
Probably easier. Destiny 2
Snore
shown off.
Hooray! I'll buy it, but there's no point to talk about this. They had their own event like before this.
I'm gonna let you buy it and then tell me that you're enjoying it for a while, and then
I'll get it. Yeah,
probably won't buy
I like the first one.
All right, tell me what y'all thought about Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that's a definite must play. That game looks good.
Got Miles Morales in it.
Yeah, it was teased towards the end of the trailer, so I'm actually.
Joey, I know I said I thought that maybe he like Spider-Man quick changed at the end, and then that was like him in the crowd. But I'm thinking more that like Miles is also a character, and that they're setting Peter Parker up to die in this game.
Could be,
and
that'd be cool.
So they're gonna explain like Miles taking over the role.
Well, from a gameplay perspective, it was awesome. It looked like they mixed in a lot of like the PS2 kind of style gameplay.
Yeah, with the like flying around, or not flying around, web slinging around the city. Yeah.
What'd y'all think about the fighting, the combat?
Was what's his name a big Spider-Man villain? I never remember.
Fisk? Yes, the Kingpin was huge against Spider-Man at some point. I think like in the 90s.
I read it. I read Spider-Man in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I just don't remember Fisk that much because I never read Daredevil. And then when Fisk was in the Daredevil show, like I was like, oh, and that kind of introduced me to him. Like I don't know how I missed Fisk, but I did.
No, Kingpin was definitely a Spider-Man villain at some point. I think it might have been an interaction between Deadpool.
Was he black?
No, he's a big white dude.
Why am I picturing a big black dude?
No idea.
You know what? The first Daredevil movie, that's why.
Yeah.
Kingpin was, what's his name played him?
The guy
from the Green Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's cool. So, anyways.
But yeah, so they announced a tentative date of 2018 for Spider-Man now. Still a long time away.
Yeah.
But that was Sony. It was short this time, but I'll talk more about and we can talk more about our feelings about Sony's conference later, or now actually, if you want to.
No, I think it was fairly short. It was about an hour exact, and I think we covered mostly everything they went over.
Yeah, I was
a lot of. No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just a lot of what's coming. Focus on maybe 3 or 4 big name things that were coming out, and then a bunch of VR.
Yeah, I wasn't that impressed with the conference.
I don't think anything was new other than Monster Hunter. Everything else was assumed. Yeah. Those were the only surprises.
No. Shadow of the Colossus. That was that caught me off guard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Monster Hunter and Shadow of the Colossus were the only surprises. Everything else was like already announced or shown before.
Yeah, that really gives me that sense, like this, in terms of these big companies that were used to being at E3, like, it was kind of a quiet year.
You say that till we get to Nintendo.
Yeah, I am. So let's move on to the final heavy hitter that had a presentation, and they went with a YouTube, or just a scripted video. Do you want to take over the Nintendo section, Eric?
Sure. I think did you guys actually watch it, or am I the only guy who watched the Nintendo thing?
I had training during it, but I did watch like pretty much all of it.
I was listening to it with my cell phone, like beneath my desk, glancing at it every 5 seconds.
So I had it open during my lunch break, but Nintendo actually came out pretty strong, I feel, and it started with its teaser of games that were already announced or games that are upcoming. So it had a teaser that tied in ARMS, FIFA, Splatoon, Pokken Tournament, DX, and threw in Rocket League. And Rocket League was the big kind of like, oh my god, we're finally getting Rocket League on the Switch.
That was a pretty cool way to introduce their presentation, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too. It was a very like fast paced, with the 5 games cutting, I think like 20 seconds into each one, or maybe a little bit longer, to really showcase, each aspect of it. But going from there, they slowed down and went into the Pokemon Company, and they talked a little bit about how, reconfirming that, they're going to have different things coming out for the 3DS, the Pokemon, what is it, Ultra Sun and Moon. But the big takeaway was that they actually, I think they did this to kind of calm all the users that were saying, oh, no game is ever going to come to the Switch, but they actually announced or confirmed that a mainline Pokemon game is going to be in development by Game Freak, which are the people who do the main story games, like the Platinum and Pearl, Black and White, Red and Blue, everyone that have done it from the beginning all the way through. They have a game in development by for the Switch.
So do you think...
I feel like that was stupid. Like, why even announce it if you don't have anything? It's just like, we're doing it. Like, it's like, we know you're doing it. It's going to make tons of money. Everyone knows.
No. You know why it's smart? Because a lot of people were actually arguing the fact that whether they were going to do it or not, or whether they were going to focus on 3DS still.
Yeah, I wasn't sure they were going to do it. Do you think this means that...
But it's not going to be Stars, is what this pretty much confirmed for me. It's like, in the future, we're going to make some Pokemon game.
Well, they said a year from now, but Stars, I don't even know how Stars is going to play. I don't know if that's going to be like Mystery Dungeon. I don't know if it's going to be like Gale of Darkness.
The idea behind Stars was that it will be the definitive version of Sun and Moon, but that's kind of already changed because they already put out like Sun and Moon 2 pretty much, like Black and White 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think Stars is a thing anymore.
I don't think it is either. That's what they were trying to say, I think.
But do you think this means they're done with mainline 3DS titles?
I think so. I think that with Ultra Sun and Moon, it's kind of a slap in the face to people who were expecting a different game. But yeah, I think they didn't even discuss 3DS at all except for the Metroid game, but we can get to that later.
All right.
But with Pokemon, yeah, no title yet, no date, but projected that it's going to take about a year and a half before they can put it out there.
Cool, that's exciting. That definitely increases my bias switch percentage.
Joe, you don't even like Pokemon.
I do like Pokemon. I just don't play it. I play like
You
2
don't like.
hours.
He does not like to
of
play
each one.
Pokemon. It's cool. I do the same thing. I'll play like 2 hours and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I did this.
I put massive amounts of time into Pokemon. I'm not even going to go into how long I've played Pokemon. So moving on, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, big thing that I was actually waiting for. Their trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles not only put out the antagonists and the protagonist, but also showcased some open world environments as well as the fight system.
They also like referred to Shulk as like the Divine Father or something, which is weird. The Divine Architect, that was it. They called him the Divine Architect.
I was interested in seeing the what was the name of the sword? The Monado.
The Monado.
The way it changed for Xenoblade 2.
Wait, is that supposed to be the Monado, or is it a different sword? I thought it was a different sword.
I thought it was the Monado because the Monado changed shape and form in the original Xenoblade Chronicles.
I guess that's true. Maybe. We'll see.
What about characters design? What did you think of the...
I just think they looked so doofy.
What?
Did you see the boobs on that girl?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's
First
like,
one?
here's a 12-year-old with giant
Joey goes
knockers.
straight to the titties.
It's very...
It was like, wow, like that's a little too much because she's like wearing like this exosuit, you know, and like that's not what it's gonna look like on.
And, I don't know. The art style is just... I like the art style in Xenoblade better than this. Aside from the weird eyes with like the hair, that was weird.
Xenoblade X was more of a... I always feel is closer to Xenogears, that kind of like adult...
That's what I want. I want more Xenogears.
I want that too.
Xenogears
But
is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, just do that again. I mean, okay, this game is going to be cool. I will probably play it and enjoy it. I just am not a huge fan of the character designs.
So next up was the biggest item that came out of left field. It was Metroid Prime 4.
And the moment probably only lasted like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was, well, longer than that, but the buildup of like, okay, they're showing space. I wonder what this could be. Then they put a big 4 up and they're like, okay, are we talking Smash Brothers? Like Super Smash 4? And then all of a sudden they played the Metroid music and then bam, Metroid Prime 4, and everyone was losing their mind. Completely off guard. I don't think anyone saw this coming.
Nope.
They showed no gameplay, they showed no trailer, they just Metroid Prime 4. But it is a big deal because no one thought Metroid was on Nintendo's radar.
Also, I feel like it's a big enough brand and it's loved enough that they could just do that. It's like Nike. They can just do an ad with just a Nike logo and everyone knows what it means.
But I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think the last Metroid I played was Super Metroid. I never played any of the Prime games.
I played the first one, but only like 2 hours of it, and that's it. Because it's not really my thing. I think it's cool, though. I'm glad it's happening.
I want to go back to the GameCube ones and play through them because I'm excited about
You
it.
can find the Metroid Prime trilogy and play through that on the Wii.
Right.
I think you can download it now on Wii U for like not that much money, because otherwise you're gonna like spend a bunch of money buying it physically.
Yeah, but Eric is only physical.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get physical.
Followed up by Metroid Prime was Yoshi, just titled Yoshi, which was this, what to me looked like a Little Big Planet with Yoshi skins.
Pass.
No, it looked fun. It kind of looked like not Yoshi's Story. Yeah, Yoshi's Story.
Yeah, it looked like Yoshi's Story. I played Yoshi's Story on N64 because my sister bought it when we were kids, and I've probably played through that game like 100 times. We used to play through it like front to back all the time. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. I think my only memory of Yoshi's Story was that I rented it. I rented Yoshi's Story with a Nintendo 64 from, I think it was Blockbuster. But anyway. They then followed with Kirby. Again, single title, 2018 release. I mean, I haven't followed the Kirby games on the Wii or the Wii U. It looked like they brought back a bunch of characters and abilities, but otherwise, I don't have too much info on this one.
It looks like a Kirby game.
Yep.
All right, we could skip past that one then. Fire Emblem Warriors. That was already shown before, but again, hyped up now. Also showing that there were a few amiibos coming out.
They also showed a lot of sword users.
Joey, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say I'm hyped for this. Looks good.
It does look good. I'll buy it when I have a Switch.
Right.
Which maybe never.
Yeah, you say that now.
No, I'll get one. It's just...
I want to buy Eric's when he puts his up on game sale.
No, it's not happening.
No, man, he's gonna fanboy. I told you, this is like the beginning of an addiction.
Yeah, it's a handheld.
Next thing you know, he's gonna have them in like every color that has ever come out, and like all the like Japanese special editions on a shelf.
I already have 4 Joy-Cons now with the Splatoon Joy-Cons that are coming out. Let's not get in.
It's a disease.
Moving on, Zelda Breath of the Wild Trials Summer Pack, the Summer DLC pack. June 30th, they announced a date, and they also showed a couple of videos regarding the Trials and Master Edition, or Master Mode, whatever it's called.
Cool.
Someone had a breath on that one?
That was a yawn. Sorry. I'm not bored. Zelda's cool.
No.
That's good.
They also hinted at the DLC Pack 2, which is Champion's Ballad. They kind of had a teaser trailer, which they didn't detail any information about what the Champion's Ballad is or will have in it, but holiday 2017. I'm kind of excited to see what that is.
I think it's going to be a song that all the 4 champions are going to sing together.
Well, speaking of... No, what?
I was going to say that big guy is going to be like the bass, and then there's going to be like the little girl is going to be like the alto.
It's like barbershop quartet.
Yeah, but singing a ballad. Yeah, a full-on ballad.
Speaking of champions, of course, they had to announce a Breath of the Wild amiibo line of the champions. So, we didn't have enough trying to find all the Breath of the Wild amiibos when they were released. We now have the 4 champions. They are being released in amiibos at the same time.
Awesome. More stuff I will not buy.
You're going to have to make more cards.
Yes, I will. They talked about some Rabbids X Mario. I'm going to skip over that because I don't really care about that unless you guys want to talk about it.
We already talked about it. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Rocket League. They actually went into a little bit further about this, talking about 2018 release date, some exclusive items, and cross-network support, meaning you can play on your Switch and also play people on Xbox One and PC. I don't think they mentioned...
But not PS4 because Sony opted out of everything. They were given the chance to do Xbox too, and they opted out. But that's fine. They got a brand. I get it.
Yeah, but you know what? That's still pretty awesome.
It is cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Except, honestly, I don't think I'd want to be grouped with PC in any competitive online game.
Oh, no, I'd get destroyed.
Yeah, PC will just, wreck everyone.
And lastly, they closed out with Super Mario Odyssey. People were expecting this one, but the trailer did justice. They showed, the different... the different areas that Mario can go in, the different hats, kind of hinted at different abilities. I think the best thing was that Mario possesses his enemies. He throws his hat at people and he becomes that kind of enemy type.
That's freaky.
So you could throw your hat and become Bullet Bill. You could throw your hat and become the...
So... What happens to his body? Does it just lay there limply, dead?
I have no idea.
He's inside those things. I hope that's the case. I really want that to happen.
It looked pretty awesome. It looked like the continuation of that kind of Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine kind of play style.
Hopefully, because that's the last one I liked was Super Mario Sunshine. Since then, I haven't. I mean, they've been all right, but I haven't loved one since then.
And I don't have it written here, but I know they did a tree house, like I said, later on. And they talked about a few other things like Splatoon. They had a mini tournament to show off, and they also had ARMS. They had a mini tournament, but they also did confirm that Splatoon is going to be, 60 frames per second, 1080p. So for the competitive scene, that's like max resolution all the way through.
That's cool.
How come like other games can't be 1080p but that can?
I have no idea.
Well, that was Nintendo, and to be honest, like, I think if you're a fan of Nintendo, there's not much more you can ask for from an E3 for them. Like, they hit all their big IPs pretty much.
Oh, and yeah, I didn't
Star
even
Fox.
Oh, well.
No,
sorry,
they skipped over
it
Star
died.
Fox.
Yeah.
I think because the Wii U release did so bad, they were like, yeah, we're going to let that die for a while.
Yeah.
But one thing I didn't even mention is that not only did we get Metroid Prime 4, but they also got, what was it, the 3DS Metroid game.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't show that off in the main.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's a remake of 2, right? Metroid 2?
Something like that.
But yeah, this is an awesome collection of games coming out for the Switch.
You know what I want to come back on a Nintendo console, because it's a Nintendo game, is Eternal Darkness. I want Eternal Darkness too. That is what I want.
We didn't talk about this, but if we get the virtual console, I'm pretty sure you'll get the Eternal Darkness.
Oh no, like I have Eternal Darkness. No problem there. I can play it anytime I want. I want a new Eternal Darkness game. I don't want the old one.
I don't know.
I want the new one.
I don't know if they'll do that again. They'll probably do Luigi's Mansion.
They tried. They did like a Kickstarter or something. And then that guy went and made 2 Human and everyone hated it.
But yeah, this definitely bolsters, that Switch library. It makes me want to pick up a Switch probably early 2018. That seems like a good time to pick it up still.
I would agree with you. Right now, we're still in a phase of like small things here and there that Zelda may be the only thing that keeps your attachment rate.
I mean, I'm okay if Eric buys Joey and I a Switch for Christmas, and we got it at Christmas, and we all played together, and it would be a beautiful moment. I'd be fine with that.
What if he bought us just one Switch, and he sent us each a Joy-Con?
Dear God. That'd be really mean.
All right, well, let's close out with our tops from E3, the things that stood out to us. Let's talk about your best or your most surprising game reveal at E3. Matt, what was that for you?
Are we going by what we wrote down because you stole mine?
You should go by what really
actually surprised me the most was Monster Hunter. Because I don't know if you remember, but I guessed Beyond Good and Evil before it.
I mean, everyone knew it was somewhere.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably going to be that. I said it. But anyways, Monster Hunter, like, I thought Monster Hunter World, I kind of believed, like, what all the subreddits were saying about how it's going to be the XX game coming over to the US. And the fact that it was announced on PS4, PC, and Xbox X or One, honestly, it made me... when I heard about XX, I really wanted to buy a Switch to be able to play it. But then once this was announced, I was like, oh, now I don't have to buy a Switch. Because it's going to be right here on a console I own. And hopefully it'll get Pro Support. So I can take advantage of that. So
that was, like you mentioned, that was my biggest surprise, or most surprising game also, the return of Monster Hunter to...
Yeah, I thought, if anything, that game would be in the Nintendo part, but the fact that it wasn't is a big deal. So
yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome reveal. What about you, Eric?
I wrote down 2 things, but I think really the one game that surprised me the most was Shadow of the Colossus, the remake or remaster, whatever we're calling it, only because I wasn't expecting it at all. And it's something that I hold dearly. Like, I still have my PS2 release of this. I have the PS3 Ico Shadow of the Colossus split re-release, and it's just something that I was like, holy shit, I'm going to buy this.
Yep, agreed. It was a really cool reveal too. That was probably my number 2 biggest surprise. What about best game that you saw at E3, Eric?
I mean, we've mentioned a few things. I'm still sticking with Days Gone, only because I do love The Last of Us, and it seemed like it played like that, and come on, how do you not like the zombie bear that we're gonna get?
I think I think Days Gone looked good. I just don't know if I wanted another game like that. But yeah, I could see how that
zombie fatigue.
Yeah, and it did look like it played really well.
I think the thing is with zombie games now is that we move away from focusing on just it being about zombies, and we move to like the human aspect. Like The Last of Us did it really well. It had the clickers and it had all that kind of like disease ridden, but it wasn't about that.
Gotcha. What about you, Matt? What was the best game you saw?
I think Spider-Man was the best technically. While watching that trailer, I was like pretty riveted and I didn't want it to end. Like I was like really into watching it. Like I was enjoying it almost like a movie. So I think even though that might not be my favorite game of all E3, I think it definitely looked the best. It seemed technically the best. There were some really cool things. Like the way he moved and everything was really very Spider-Man-esque, and I was really impressed by that game.
Right. Yeah, that game looks good. I'm hoping that they'll keep like the fluidity of like utilizing your webs in a way to where you're not like, which button is it to do that one web thingy?
Right.
If they can get that down, like I think it's gonna feel like you are Spider-Man, like you're able to just do whatever you want, basically.
Yeah,
since he's so like agile. Yeah. For me, best game I saw was probably Wolfenstein 2, mostly because I didn't really expect to be swept off my feet by this game, especially because it's a shooter. So, but the trailer I thought was just so bizarre and violent, and I don't know, just grabbed me for some reason. Eric, what are you most excited for?
Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Oh my goodness.
No, really, I am.
Who are you gonna fight? Who's gonna be on your team?
I mean, the only people that were in the kind of like trailer, the show, were Goku, Gohan, Majin Buu, like Kid Majin Buu, the fat one, Cell, Vegeta, and Frieza. So I think they showed 6. I'm hoping the roster gets a lot bigger, like we talked about earlier, but I haven't been excited for a fighting game in a long time, and I really want to get into this.
That's cool. That's awesome. What about you, Matt?
Definitely Monster Hunter World. I think that's the game.
Is this the game that makes you put down all the other Monster Hunters?
Yeah. I mean, I always, when a new one comes out on the platform I want, I'll switch to that one. So that's what will happen. It looks really good, and I'm looking forward to my armor not looking blurry on my screen.
Yeah.
The one problem with the 3DS, it's like slightly low res. Like it's going to be over 290p or whatever the 3DS does.
It's going to be such a bizarre change graphically.
What about you, Joey? What are you excited for?
I am excited to just literally put on a VR headset once I can afford it and just sit around in Skyrim. Like, I think as long as I can have someone feed me, like, I may never return to the real world.
I'm just picturing, like, Belle, like, holding a giant slice of pizza and you just, like, gnawing on it as you play Skyrim. She's, like, holding it up.
That's good, because that's what I was picturing, too.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, it's a little bit of what would you say? I guess we shouldn't be too selfish, but there were, I guess, a few disappointments at E3. Eric, what was yours?
I gotta say Skyrim, and I know you guys are gonna say Skyrim.
The game he's never played.
No. Listen, the reason why it's a disappointment is because not only has it been out for 2008, 2009, but how many systems has it been on? Again,
yeah, they're putting it out for people who haven't played it, like you.
It was Bethesda.
You are the target audience for this game.
But listen, Bethesda could have focused on anything else, but half of its main thing was Skyrim.
I think they are focusing on other things. I think they just release them they announce them 3 months before they come out now. So if it's not ready to go, they're gonna fall back on old IPs.
I mean,
they really are putting so much money into Skyrim.
The joke is that come 2019, you're gonna be able to play it on your PS Rock. I mean,
or on your probably on your refrigerator.
Yeah, or refrigerator. I mean, I can play Skyrim on my phone now. Come on.
Yeah,
you can play Skyrim on your phone now?
Yes.
How?
What do you mean?
Yeah, we'll get Matt hooked up later with Skyrim on his phone.
I have an iPhone. I don't think I can do this.
Yeah, no, you iPhone users suck.
But yeah, I agree. Seeing Skyrim is starting to get to me a lot. It's just kind of that overload.
At least you played it though, Joey. At least you played it.
I think that's part of it too.
I think Eric should play it, and then we should revisit this.
He's probably not going to like it. He's probably going to be like, "This is exactly like Legend of Zelda."
Not at all.
What about you, Matt? What was your biggest disappointment?
I wanted more out of the EA press conference. I'm not a big fan of EA in general, but they own a lot of studios that I really like. I really like Visceral Games, who have supposedly been working on a Star Wars game that I really want to see because Dead Space 1 and 2 were awesome, and I try to pretend 3 doesn't exist. Also, Amy Hennig, one of the I think she's one of the directors for all of Uncharted, is now with EA as well with her studio, and she's supposed to be making a Star Wars game as well, and it was all hyped last fall, so I thought she was going to maybe make an appearance, but she didn't. So I was hoping to see those 2 games.
Were you, did you think that the Star Wars Battlefront 2 stuff do you think that's going to be good? Yeah,
it'll be good and fun, and I like Battlefront. I don't like that it's not what Battlefront used to be, but I like that it's Star Wars and done well.
So we potentially got 2 more Star Wars games coming out?
Yeah, and also BioWare supposedly has a Star Wars game somewhere, maybe.
That's a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we haven't heard about that in a long time, so I don't even think that one's really plausible right now. Maybe it is, who knows, but they have other things they're working on. But these 2, Visceral was definitely working on it, and Amy Hennig, there's multiple, if you Google it, you'll see a bunch of, there's all these write-ups on her and what she wants to do with Star Wars. Now she wants to make it human, stuff like Uncharted. It sounded cool.
Yeah, it does sound cool. My biggest disappointment is probably just the quality of Sony's conference. Everything looked pretty, obviously, and they just went straight games, but I felt like there was a little bit of a laziness to that, and I don't know, I just wanted them to talk more, to say something about, continuing to put support behind the heavy hitting games they had at the start of this year, to maybe say something about remote play and how they're not really supporting it on every system they used to, all the Blu-ray players or whatever, and maybe talk about the Vita some, but whatever. I knew that they weren't going to do the latter, but still it was a little disappointing. That was E3. Everyone who paid massive amounts of money for entry into the expo is now there this week. I don't know how many days it stays open. I know it was open Tuesday and today, maybe.
No, I thought it was officially open to visitors now through the end of the week, right?
Yeah. But the booths look cool. There's a lot of cool merch on sale. There's Last Guardian plushes and vinyl. Kojima has a lot of merch for sale there. I know a Ni no Kuni 2 steelbook has been given out to people walking around, so that's cool.
Is it Atlas or maybe it's Nippon Ichi giving out pins for each game that you go to see? That's pretty awesome.
That was Atlas, I think.
Yeah. I was a little bit jealous about that. I'd be like, that's kind of cool. Get a little pin.
Yeah. Definitely jealous for all the swag. I haven't really read anything about people's experiences other than the lines were crazy and press was having trouble getting to their appointments on time just because they didn't really plan separate entrances or times for the press meetings. But it'd be cool. I'll probably be reading about that because it'd be cool to consider going to an E3 at some point if they do keep it open to the public.
Hopefully they close it to the public and then just like they're like, those Geek Envy guys sound swell, and they just send us a little invitation and they're like, oh, by the way, we bought your plane ticket too.
Yeah,
your hotel room. Come on down.
But of course, the listener can help us with that because this podcast is made possible thanks to Zencaster. And you can find it online at geekenvy.podbean.com and on iTunes and Google Play. If you go on there and give us a good comment, we move up in the popular ratings. So do that for us if you get a chance. Eric, where can we find you on the web?
Instagram and Twitter at Eric the Intern.
What about you, Matt?
On Twitter, blackwaltz_no3.
And you can find me on Instagram at Geek Stereo and on Twitter at Me in the Stereo. If you've got any comments, suggestions, or questions for us, you can email us at askgeekenvy@gmail.com. We'll be back in 2 weeks.